Ohm. Oh, for the love of Pete. That took way, way too much effort. So XSplit decides to lock up on me. So now there's two instances that will not end task or shut down. OBS, I had to relaunch it on top of itself to get it to kick itself off. I tried using Streamlabs OBS, but Streamlabs won't let me stream to YouTube by itself because I had to log in using Twitch to use Streamlabs OBS, and it won't let me disable it because that's how I logged in. So I could either use Streamlabs OBS and stream to Twitch at the same time on Colorado Plays, or just say fuck it. And I launched OBS on top of itself, so this is probably going to break something. But I've never used OBS to do a video before. So, well, I have, but it's been like a very long time, and a lot of things in OBS has changed. And I use OBS to record the videos that I upload. I don't use it for live streaming because I hate having to switch back and forth. So, a lot of things have changed since I set it up last time, and seems to be working. In fact, I have this nifty little chat screen that loads up with OBS that runs off the same thing. So I'm not really sure which one's better. But the chat window that OBS launches has the little heart icon, so I can make I can share my own little icons. Oh, but I have to sign in. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I've already signed in. Can I just go back? No. Okay, well, I think I screwed that up, so I'm just going to close that and just pop out the chat window. Or I'll just move it over here. You know, one of these days I'm going to have a day where things just work. You know, that'd be awesome. So, but in the meantime, I'm using OBS, so if it sounds weird or looks different, that's probably why. Normally I use XSplit, but like I said, XSplit decided to crap out on me tonight. And I think it has something to do with the problem I had with my phone. Like, something screwed up the drivers for recognizing my phone through the computer. So, yeah, I'm going to be shutting it down tonight. But man, it's been one of those days, all around, nonstop. Fun idea, you can make a paper doll version of yourself with all your Hawaiian shirts, collect them all like NFTs. So this one's warranted. It sounds looks great, awesome. Yeah, it's the same settings I use for the videos, so if they works on the videos okay, then I'm sure it'll work with the live stream. I haven't used OBS for live streaming in a very, very long time, so. But, I don't know. I stopped using OBS because I hated switching back and forth, because with, back in the day, you had to enter in the stream key every time you went live on YouTube. So every time you created and every live feed has its own stream key. So every time you had to put in that stream key into OBS before you can even hit connect. Now it looks like you can connect outright and then select which one you want to use to record or to go live. So I think that might be something I want to consider, because you know I pay like $25 every 3 months for XSplit, and XSplit does have a new version out, so maybe that'll fix the problem, or maybe it's just because I screwed my machine up earlier and I haven't restarted yet. Probably because it'll take a good 30 minutes to restart. Now what? Oh, hey, look, I'm live. No shit. Sounds and looks great. Let's see, it can also come with accessories like a glass of Fireball. This one's actually Drambuie. And a Drambuie glass. So I'm being all kinds of, yeah. Oh yeah. Zen. Anywho. So sorry for the late start, which means we'll probably run until 8:30 because it was so late. But, oh yeah, Diana, did you see that I broke the record for poker on Bejeweled 3? Next is the butterflies. And chat bubbles with things you love to say. Chat bubble, I don't know what that means. Sorry. Anywho, so now that we're live, we're going to give it a few minutes here before we dive into the topic. Not that it matters much. Fucking no. Ho ho ho! Yeah. Little bastard. Got him. Wake up, everybody. Anywho. So yeah. I did see that you were playing Bejeweled 3, but let's see if you can beat my high score in Butterflies. Butterflies is a hard one. I think you might have that one for a while. It only took me about an hour to do the poker one, but Butterflies, I've been trying to play the Butterflies one, and I don't know. I don't know how you did it, but I'm having an issue with it. So I will get it, though. Oh, yes. It will be mine. But Butterflies is the only thing anybody's beat me on, so. I mean, paper chat bubbles for your paper doll set to make it more interesting. Like, never give up, never surrender. Or, I don't give a fuck. That's another one. I don't know if I say it a lot on stream, though. I say that a lot in real life. I can do poker and butterflies because they aren't about speed. Yeah, that's what I liked about the poker one. In Bejeweled 3 with the poker, you can take your time. So, like, I'll have Fraser running on one monitor and I'll be playing poker on the other. You don't really have to put a lot of thought into it, so it's kind of nice. I like relaxing, slow games like that where you don't have to worry about speed or time. That's one big reason why I love Minecraft so much, and Subnautica, and Diablo 3. And Fallout. You don't really have to worry about time on Fallout either. You can just relax and build shit. Because. Or if you can't, imagine someone on top of you. I don't know if I'll do that one for WriterSanctuary. Couple more of those, we might change our mind, though. Anywho, tonight I wanted to talk about where are we going? More like an end game thing. I think a big part of that is because recently I was doing some research about for an article that I assigned a writer today. And one of the articles I came across that we're using as a reference was written by one of my old writers. So, coming from a company. And so I'm thinking, God, he's been around for so long, but yet he's still content with being a content writer. And I'm like, I would have thought he would have been upper management by now, but he's happy where he's at. And so, so I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I wonder how many people that are writers or freelance writers who don't really have an end game. They're just doing it because they do it. And so, got me to thinking, like, what is everybody's end game when they're a writer? Whether you're a freelance writer, a blogger, or a self-published author. I wish part of me wants to comment on the post because we were pretty close. And like, the funny thing is that it's from a company that has already snaked two of my people. I've lost 2 writers to this one company. So I'm about to hit up my boss to find out why. But, so yeah, I started thinking about him. Oh, you watch Frasier? I love that show. Yeah, I love Frasier. This is like my 5th run through it on Hulu. Frasier, Deep Space Nine, MASH, Home Improvement. A lot of the older stuff. Like some of the newer shows, I don't mind. It just, they don't write plots and shows like they used to. Most of the time now, it's just, I don't know. The shows nowadays lost a lot of their gusto from the 80s and 90s. But I do like Bones, NCIS. I haven't watched the last few seasons of NCIS though. I used to be a big Simpsons fan until like 2002 or 3, and then I just kind of lost interest. I still like a lot of the older episodes. Like I watch the Halloween specials all the time. What's another good one that I enjoy? I do like Discovery. I kind of about the whole backstory of the Federation stuff, because it's not really jiving with, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager and all those. I get it that technology nowadays is way better, so they can do all kinds of cool nifty stuff, with special effects and shit, but it doesn't match. Like if Discovery is supposed to be like 80 years before the Next Generation, the technology should be way different, but it's not. That's one thing I loved about Enterprise. With Enterprise, they the bridge of Enterprise it looked like an old space shuttle in comparison to the Next Generation. I love that. But nowadays you have touchscreen and holographic images and shit, and it just doesn't match with the chronologically with like Next Generation and Voyager and all those. So that's the only thing I kind of not really liking, but its writing is okay. A lot of weird plot twists that probably could have done without, but Picard season 3 was awesome. But yeah, I watched a lot of stuff, not just Frasier. I watched Seinfeld and Frasier growing up. Dad was a big Seinfeld fan, so the house was full of Seinfeld. A lot of Seinfeld doesn't fly today, but sitcoms were better in the past. Oh yeah, like Married with Children. That'll still be one of my all-time favorites. I love Al Bundy. I modeled a lot of my life after Al Bundy. So, yeah. But anywho, yeah, so I started thinking about it. I'm like, how many people actually have an idea of where they want their career to go? What's your end game? Like, are you content with just being a content writer until you're 75, 80 years old and can't see the computer screen, decide to retire? Like, a lot of us freelancers don't even have a retirement plan. And we'll just keep writing. I know I'll keep writing because that's who I am. I'll write until the day I die. But I do have an end game for everything, though. Like, well, I moved on from content mills and decided to start going with private clients instead. And I make far more money now. But if it wasn't for the content mills, I wouldn't be where I am today. So content mills still played a big role in my development. But now that I'm here, I'm now the content marketing team lead, essentially a manager, a hiring manager, and I want more. I don't want to just be a manager the rest of my life. That's why I started working on the blogs and the books. Getting the blogs to a point where I don't have to worry about clients would be amazing. That's a long way off though. And I would love to do nothing but write books all day. So I don't know, it just got me curious as to what everybody has planned for the next 10 years. Because I know 10 years ago, it would be 2013, I had just quit the school district in February and started writing for Textbroker, Writer Access, and Fiverr full time. And I had no idea where I would be in 10 years. I was just writing. I was just making money to pay the bills. And I guess that's an okay way to live. But personally, I need to have an end game. I need to have a focus of how does this finish. So my end game is to become a creative writer for educational games, like what I was doing before. Well, see, there you go. And you're working towards that. You're going to school, and that's a good thing. What are the things you're doing before that, though? What are the steps you're taking to get to your end game aside from school? I do enjoy content writing if it's for meaningful projects like games, but I need my boss to not be an a-hole. Well, everybody wants their boss not to be an asshole. Mine's actually, I like my boss. I work with some amazing people, some awesome, friendly people, but I don't want to be. I love my. Don't get me wrong, I love my job, but I don't want to be doing it the rest of my life, and so I am working for more. Like I would love for YouTube to pay me my $10 a month from AdSense. I would like the blogs to get to a point where I can be done, but you can't do that. I have a mortgage and credit cards to pay, so I gotta stick with the client work, at least for now. I finally hit a roadblock in my writing career. I had that job for 2 years, so that looks great on my resume. Aside from that, I am part of a game design group with other students and faculty. It's pretty cool. Awesome. Cool. Know what you ought to do and see about making, just for the hell of it, make a few games on your own. That's what I was trying to tell Ty, my son, because he was interested in doing video games. I'm like, well, you don't have, he hasn't had a chance to go to college yet for it, but he has all the software to do it. So I'm like, why don't you just learn all the stuff you've got and start toying around with, even if it's a little stupid game like Pac-Man, but make it your own. Just start practicing. But he decided not to do that. I don't know what he wants to do now. Today I finally had to sit down with my creative director after failing to meet his expectations twice within one project. He understands that this project is something new for me. Yeah, you gotta be honest up front. Gotta make people realize just what's involved with what you're trying to do. Yeah, I'm trying to make games while doing grad school full time. I'll see what I can do. Awesome. Yeah, if you can make something awesome, you can slap it up on Steam and make some money on the side. That's what a lot of people are doing. Unfortunately, most of them suck. I have RPG Maker that I would like to play around with and make some RPG games. I'm debating on doing an RPG game based off my book, kind of like it goes along with it, or I can make it a subplot within the book. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. We'll have to see it. Let's not add more to my plate before I finish what I got. So, I'm a copywriter, but what he's having me do is for a creative writer. Yeah. There's not much of difference if you think about it, because even as a copywriter, you still have to be creative enough to write something in a way that makes people want to buy the product. So there is a little bit of creativity still with it. Just amp it up a little bit more. If you can do game development and coding, you will have a huge advantage in the industry. Yep. Yeah, publish a game to Steam would be cool. I think so. I think it'd be fun. That's one of the things I'll be doing like further on down the road. Let's get my books finished first, and then I'll mess around with game development. But in the meantime, today I explained to him that I need structure for the last 2 meetings we had, which lasted 2 hours each. He talked for hours, but nothing he said gave me any concrete steps on what to do next. I hate that kind of crap. Like, here, I want it to look just like this, but I'm not going to give you any details. I need you to make it up on your own. Yeah, that kind of stuff is maddening. Luckily, I have quite a bit of control over what I do right now. I do have to adhere to what the boss wants, and I work closely with the SEO team. But after that, we have quite a bit of flexibility with what we do. So, and we don't have to do a lot of really in-depth technical stuff, so it's not really too difficult for my writers. But there are times where I have to step in and do stuff on my own because, well, not everybody's as good as I am. Hey, and that's not just me boasting. That's taking pride in my accomplishments, and I've accomplished a lot. So, He gave me some examples and then told me not to use them as examples. He told me to dig deep and find inspiration within. Could you be more vague? Make sure you read their mind. I like to have information details to make something as good as possible. But that annoys people. Yeah, I agree. We're told what we need, and then it's up to us to put it together. But we know what we're doing. It's not like, now there's a couple projects that were like out of left field, but they pay the bills. So their creative assignment is to write a brand guide. A brand guide is really different from sales emails, ads, or blogs about money. Oh yeah, you're telling me about that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to do a brand guide before. I've done several ebooks. One for a very large network equipment manufacturer. I can't say who, but it's a pretty large company, and I had to write their ebook, and that was a lot of fun. In fact, Textbooker came directly to me to write it through email. There wasn't even an open job or direct order or nothing. They came directly to me and asked me if I wanted to do it. This was back when I was whooping ass. Back in my prime. But yeah, I've done a few ebooks, but never a brand guide. Like, I don't even know what the hell that is. Know what's going to happen? Tomorrow they're going to ask me for one. I'd Google it and figure out. Know what I'd do is Google it and find one that's out there and read it, or at least skim through it to see how they structured theirs and get some ideas from that. That's mostly what I do every day. So I go through stuff that's already been done, or stuff that's like if we want to do a best of some kind of plugin for WordPress, I'll see who has done it and what are they missing that I can add to mine. And then I have my writers do it. Like recently we started adding FAQs and what is whatever. So the point is to outdo the other guy. What are their posts missing that I can make awesome in mine? So do that with the book. Take a look at some of these brand guides that are out there, if there is any, and see how they had their set up, and see if we can get some ideas from that. I really like to work from examples, at least as a starting point. Yeah. We use references all the time. I told him that telling me to dig deep inside isn't giving me enough insight. He got mad because I looked up something online and used it as a reference because it wasn't what he wanted. Well, tell him up front, I'm not a psychic. I don't know what the hell you want. My God, people. Fruit fly committed suicide in my drink. Yeah. That's 2 down. Yes, and I'm going to continue drinking it. Do you know why? Because anything that flies into Drambuie or Scotch or whiskey of any kind is going to be clean. And if I swallow it, it serves them right. He shouldn't have flew into my drink. I've swallowed flies in my coffee before. The way I figured is if, it's his fault for flying into my coffee. So anywho, so we've got Diana's end game. What about mine? Let's see. For the blogs, I do want to get the blogs to a point where they generate a decent amount of money. That'd be awesome. Like WriterSanctuary right now brings in the lion's share of AdSense revenue, and last year and in 2021, I made a lot in sponsored posts. Not so much in affiliates, but that's because I don't just push an affiliate for shits and giggles. I have to know the product. Like when I write a best of list, I have to try out every product that I'm calling the best. Otherwise, you can't really call it the best, can you? How do you know it's the best unless you used it? So like all these other websites where they like, go ahead and do a best of cameras for YouTube. I'm like, yeah, because somebody has the money to buy $500 cameras, a big long list of 20 of them, to try them all out. Yeah, not likely. What you're doing is recycling information that's already out there. So I don't do that. I have to try everything before I call it the best. And if my name's on it, then that makes a big difference. So I don't do a lot of affiliate stuff only because I haven't had a chance to try out the different products. Like I was using affiliate Reedsy's affiliate link for a while, but I think they might have got rid of the platform because I don't see the link anywhere. My link still works. It just I don't see it anywhere on Reedsy where you can get it. So I think they might have gotten rid of it. I do have Grammarly as an affiliate, but I haven't written a lot of articles about Grammarly. So. But anywho, the point is that I would like all 4 of my blogs, technically I have 5, but my 4 main blogs, I would like them to get to a certain point where they can bring in a decent amount of money so I don't have to stress about shit. But I'm also a realist and trying to balance everything else while trying to get the blogs to a certain point is exceptionally difficult. So, you only got to do with what time you have. But that's the end game for the blogs, is to just get them to a point where they can actually bring in a decent income. Of course, I also would love to become a published author. There we go. I need to write a nonfiction book for this degree, so I will publish that. There you go. I've only written 1 nonfiction, and that was... Why the hell is everybody and their dog sending me notifications? I'm not even gonna look. That's probably from PayPal. I get notified every time I pay a bill. But yeah, I would love to be a published author as well. I know that I'm not... I still have a long way to go. This is going to be... Kingmaker is the first book that's actually a creative piece. A Freelancer's Tale is technically my first book, but that was more of a autobiography, and the main purpose of that book was to help me get started with self-publishing and see what's all involved. So with Kingmaker, it's going to be a lot different. My God, leave me alone. Oh, look, I paid Amazon. I get a notification on the browser, I get a ding on my phone, and an email all at the same time. Every time I pay a bill. It gets annoying. Anyway, but yeah, I would like to publish more books. I would like them to get to a point where... I'm going to shut that off. I would like to get them to get to a point to where... that all I would have to do is write books all day. That would be my dream job. That is my end game. But for right now, I would have to sell, I did the math earlier, 28 books a day is what I would have to sell to replace my income from clients. And for nobody, that is kind of hard to do. So I'm not really expecting that my first 4 or 5 books are going to be major money makers. Mostly I'm writing the series that I'm writing right now because it's the story I want to tell. I love the story behind Kingmaker and Fury and the rest of the books after it. It is going to be way more involved than I thought. We're talking like Harry Potter level intricate. So, but probably not that, because that was like 9 books or 8 books. But there is so far 4, possibly 5, because I might have to expand it. But so I'm not thinking, not a single part of me believes that I'm going to be like a best-selling author off the bat. I am a realist. I would like to sell a few copies of my book, but I'm not going to hit 28 per day. So In the meantime, I have to keep working, but that would be my end game. My ultimate ending would be to write books all day, books and blogs. Like even if I was become like, let's say Kingmaker was bestseller on Amazon and I made a slew of sales, I would still continue doing the books or the blogs. I love to write, and I love bouncing around from topic to topic. That's what made me such a success on Textbroker, and it's also part of my downfall. Instead of just having one blog where I can put all my effort into and make it successful, I have 5. And I barely have enough time to put any content on those. So that's what happens when you screw yourself. But even if I was a successful author, I'd still do the blogs because I love writing for those blogs. I love the topics I cover. I'm very interested in writing health and fitness, gaming, and YouTube stuff. And then the 5th blog is just michaelbrockbank.com. That's where I'm going to be putting all my books. So I only have 4 major blogs that I make money on. Technically 3, because I haven't monetized Tube Arcanum yet. So that's next on my list. But part of what drives me is not being content with where I am. I'm always looking for something more. What's next? What's over that horizon? I open every door. I walk every path. I love figuring out what's next. I challenge myself constantly, and I push myself to get to wherever I'm going. Like right now, my passion is wrapped up in the series. Once the series is done, I will move on to another, and I'll probably explore what Kindle Create has to offer, or maybe there's a few tools online that pique my interest to try out for publishing books. My point is that I'm always looking for what's next. I'm not content with just being a content creator or a content writer. So like when I read my friend's post on that website, I'm like, because he was a nice guy. I wish he wouldn't have left us, but apparently this other company's paying more money. But he's still content with just being a content creator or a content writer. And he doesn't really do much outside of that. I'm like, I could never do that. I always have to push for what's next. And so, I don't know, it just piqued my interest today for that. Because, yeah, I'm never content with just sitting here spinning my wheels. In 10 years, I hope to have a slew of books on my bookshelf with my name on the spine. And, yeah, I want to work towards getting that. And then the next goal after that, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I know for one thing that I'm constantly pushing myself for more. Unfortunately, that also means that I usually fill up my plate with shit that I can't handle. So, that I need to learn how to not do anymore. Like right now, I'm trying to write Fury before Halloween, so my beta readers can read it. Who are on Buy Me a Coffee, by the way. If you're a monthly member on Buy Me a Coffee, you get access to my book's first draft. Fury hopefully should be done by October 31st. That's my goal. And then I decided to make a new video for Creative Sanctuary. It was a Halloween special. And that's taken up a huge chunk of my day. On top of the books. So, yeah, it's good times. So anywho, thought I had more back and forth, but guess not. It's like last week, where last week's topic I was so excited for because I love talking about movies and stuff, and nobody replied, nobody chatted. Well, we're probably going to do a part 2 of that, but yeah. So what are your, I know what Diana's end game is, but no one else has chatted, so I don't know what people have planned for the next, I'm thinking 10 years down the road, and I don't know if anybody else does that. It's weird, because, the younger generations just seem to float like a fart in the wind. I have to have focus. I have to have a path. I can't just willy-nilly it. I'm Generation X. That's how I was raised. Are you reading chat? Yes, I am. Yeah. I don't see anything new aside from yours and Katie C's comment. I was talking to my sugar mama. Ah. Well, there you go. Go talk to your sugar mama. That's Katie C's end game. Some of that sweetness. She keeps texting me. Tell her to bring a candy bar. Damn, I said something funny, but I think it got censored. Yeah, I've been reading it. I've been doing really good today. Keep an eye on chat. I don't know why YouTube censors certain things. Like my filters on YouTube, on WriterSanctuary aren't that intense. So I don't know why YouTube just squicks for certain words. I said that you should create a voicemail that says, leave me the fuck alone. Right? Or not even a voicemail. It's not voicemails I'm getting. It's text messages and emails. What I should do is set up an auto replier. Anytime someone sends me an email, leave me the fuck alone. I'm online. My luck, it'll be a sponsor who decides to leave me alone. It's all good. I did get an email. I got to read it. But I got an email from somebody that says that you're losing money by supporting Ezoic. And so I replied to him. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a bot response, but just to put that out there, I don't support Ezoic. In fact, I bashed them pretty well last year. Ezoic is one that is probably not going to give me any more money. So, and then they replied to me about it. So, and I got to read that email because I think it'd be funny. My point is that if you're going to contact me for stuff, make sure you know what the hell you're talking about. And that was essentially the email that I sent to him, because you don't talk to me about things that I support when I clearly don't. Like their basic platform for Ezoic, not only did my website slow down by 30 points on PageSpeed Insights, but my income for the whole, I think I used it for 3 months, the income was considerably lower than AdSense. So yeah, I'm like, I'm not using this fucking platform. And then I wrote a review about it as well as a video. So yeah, you didn't read or watch that shit. Don't try to fool me. I always see, this is how you never become a victim. If you always look at everybody like they have an ulterior motive, nobody can take advantage of you. So I know some people say that's not a very good way to live your life, but no one's getting my money. So in today's climate, my next step in my career is to become the lead copywriter for my firm. There you go. I did that. I'm like the boss. The only ones that are above me right now are the owners. So it is kind of cool to have that much power. But I don't want to just be the lead or the manager. I want more. I want my writing and my stuff to do way more than what I'm doing now. I'll be in charge of noob writers. That's where I'm at. That's my world. Similar to what you're doing now. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. The writer, I actually got a decent writer. One of my favorite stories is one of the writers I have now, the company wanted to let him go in 2017? Yeah. It was 2017. They were going to let him go. And at that point, he was really young, very new. He went to school for accounting, so he wasn't a big writer, but he applied. And at one point, they were going to fire him, but then the boss gave him some easy stuff to write. I thought, you know what? I'm going to turn this boy into something awesome. So I worked with him for about 1.5 years, and I turned him into one of my best writers. And it got to the point to where I actually hired him for writing on one of my other blogs. And I love molding someone new into something that I need. And he learned a lot in the process. He's got an eye for SEO stuff. He catches a lot of stuff now that are like the older articles. He'll point out some things that aren't supposed to be there. Like, good catch. So, yeah, I love being the boss. I love teaching. I love helping people. So that was one of my big things. Is that it's like, even if the blogs made all their money, and I do make a lot of money on books, I would probably, that'd give me some time to like do some online courses and stuff, because I still love helping people. That is my biggest driving force. That's why I do my YouTube channel, even though it's been, what, 2018? So 5 years, and I'm still not monetized because I don't have the watch time. I'll still keep doing the YouTube videos, even though I don't make any money on them, simply because I love helping people. I get comments all the time about this is exactly what I needed. Thank you for the help. I got one recently on the Readsy, on how to set up a book in Readsy. The guy was excited that he learned how to do it, and he loved the idea that Readsy was free so that he can get started. He was really new to it, and so I helped him get started. I'm like, that is the kind of stuff that drives me. I love helping people find their path. Whether you're a blogger, freelance writer, or self-published author, I love helping people with whatever I can, however I can. So that's why I do my videos for free. So, yay me. Cool thing is that sometimes I'll be rewatching one of my videos and an ad will pop up. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That means YouTube thinks my content's worth adding ads to. So by the time I hit the 4,000 hours of watch time, I can actually make some money on it. A whole $10 a month. If it's anything like blogging AdSense, it's not a lot. So I want to become a better dancer, of course. There you go. Well, yeah, but that's more of like, uh-oh, I think I said something that turned on my phone. I don't know why it turned on. You know, maybe somebody's listening to me. Maybe the NSA is recording my conversation. I'm sorry you're that bored. So next month I'll be seeing one of the dance teachers I had a huge crush on earlier this year. I can't wait to see her again. If nothing comes out of it and she turns me down, lol. She's cute. Who knew love could drive my dancing career? Oh, for fuck's sakes. How about you wait until she just returns your phone call? But hey, you know, each to their own. One of these days I'll get out and do something. I'm thinking about taking up a cooking course just so that I can get out of the house and meet some people. Or I was thinking about doing the, there's a singles exercise group. You know, you go out and do some like basic exercises. It's kind of like speed dating, but with aerobics. So you get to smell your... So you get to determine if somebody you want to date stinks when they sweat. I don't know if I could do it though, because when I go to the gym, I go to the gym to break myself. You should have seen me this morning. I was like a sweaty mess. But I got home, and you get that, went to the gym pump, all your muscles are all like twice as big as normal. You feel like the Hulk, but it only lasts for like 5 minutes. Yeah, it's I was looking pretty good. So I don't know if I could do one of those speed dating aerobics things. Oh my God in heaven. It's like everybody decides, hey, it's 8 o'clock, let's send out emails. I never asked her for her number last time. Oh. And then she'll give you a fake one that leads to dominoes. I've done that before, giving out a fake number. Yeah, because you don't want to be rude, but you know sure as hell that you're not going to be dating this person. So I don't know, and you should just tell them flat out. But I'm not always an asshole. Sometimes I'll side on the air of saving someone's feelings because I am a nice guy. Sometimes. Mostly. Usually. Depends on the day. So, here's being awesome. I've never given out a fake number. Whose number would I give them? A friend of mine used to give out the number to Denny's. Oh, yeah. And then back in the day, like in the 90s, we had selective call forwarding on the phones. And so if somebody was to like constantly call and bug the hell out of you, you can have their number automatically forwarded to somewhere else. Well, there's this one girl that was like essentially harassing my cousin. And so she found out what my number was, and he was at my house, and she kept calling and bugging us. So I had her number forwarded to the Ogden Police Department. So that was back when you could have some fun with a phone. Nowadays, not so much. Couldn't do that now, but yeah, we used to have a lot of fun back then. You kids today will never know the joys of the 80s and 90s, man. It was a whole different world back then. It was great. I called and some dude picked up the phone. Last year, a girl I hit on at the bar gave me a fake number. See? Yeah. You know, that's why I don't ask for numbers. I don't pursue anybody. I'm single by choice. That's because I don't care. I don't put myself out there. Would I like to stumble into Miss Right? Of course, who wouldn't? But I don't actively pursue it. If I meet her, I meet her. If not, oh well. But I'm not going to ask anybody's numbers. I'm not going to bug the shit out of somebody. I am waiting to be pursued. There we go. If you don't pursue me, you're not going to get me. So, I'm successful, but the hell do I care? Oh, wait, I never called. Wait, hold on. So you called and some dude picked up the phone, but then you say, wait, you never called? That's a big contradiction. We're missing part of the story somewhere. Recently, a guy did not take my rejection well. He kept messaging me and saying, it's because I'm unattractive, right? I just blocked him. Yeah, like, you know, some dudes out there just need to learn to, you know, if she's not interested, she's not interested. Don't keep bugging the fuck out of her. It's like my date that I had a couple of Saturdays ago. I went out to breakfast. I took her out. She was a nice woman. We had a good rapport online, but there was just no sparks there. And slowly but surely, she stopped texting, and to now the point there, I haven't heard from her in a month. And do I get butthurt about it? No. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Fuck, there's a reason why there's only 3 people watching me right now. I'm an acquired taste. So I know that about myself. So I'm not going to get all butthurt about it. You know, I'm not what she was looking for. And she's not what I was looking for. To be honest, she reminded me too much of my grandma. And like right there was red flags at breakfast. I didn't want to say anything to her. But she did remind me a lot of my grandma Brockbank, whom I loved, my grandma. She was the one that got me into computers. And I miss my grandma quite a bit. But yeah, I can't see myself jumping into bed with her. That's for damn sure. So I'm kind of relieved that I wasn't what she was looking for. So, but you know, you just be adults about it, people. I texted, hey baby, and the person replied back saying they were a dude. She wrote back, yeah, no. Really tossing. Before social media, most people met by chance anyway. Yeah, exactly. I don't do a lot of crap on social media. Like a lot of people treat Twitter like it's Tinder. I'm like, these are people you will never meet in real life. You know that, right? Like, I don't know why people have such a hard time with social media. I mean, I am who I am. I'm like this in real life. So a bit of a dick. I am authentic, and I just don't see why people will really slide into someone's DM saying, "Oh, I want to date you and take you out and shit," when they live 1,200 miles away. I'm like, dude, you know that she's never going to meet you, right? It's social media. It's not a dating hub. These are all people that you will probably never meet in real life. And out of the, what do I have? Almost 1,860 subscribers. And I still only get like 20 views for video. Anyway, 1,800 plus subscribers. I've only met one person in real life, and he's here tonight. That's not very good odds if you think about it. So I don't know why people get so wrapped up with social media and being friends and lovers. And I've heard stories of people making things work on social media, but it's not for me. It lacks intimacy. I want to be able to smell the person I'm with. I know that sounds weird, but I have a thing for smelling the woman I'm with. It's hard to explain. It's not just a pheromone thing. It's more of her hair, her skin, the touch of another person. That's what I'm into. Social media doesn't do that. So I don't get it. Yeah, people met and got married for centuries before social media. We can do without it now. Yep. Have you ever been on a date with someone and they just blurt out that they are not attracted to you? It's like, you don't need to actually say that to their face. I don't think anybody's ever done that before. The only time I ever said anything remotely like that was back when I worked at the IRS. There was one woman who kept bugging the piss out of me. I was kind of dating somebody at the time, but she would not leave me alone. It was relentless until eventually she asked me, is it worth my time is it a waste of my time to pursue you? And I told her yes. And she still kept at it until one day I got fed up. And this is how much of a dick I am. I got riled up and I looked at her and I said, seriously, you know, if I was to build the most perfect woman in the world for me, it would be the exact opposite of you. And she still pursued me. Some people just can't take a hint. And yeah, that was a bit of a dick move. But, you know, when someone will not leave you alone for months on end, after you've told them you're not interested, you got to be mean. And she still kept coming. So apparently I wasn't mean enough. I'm really into the sound of a man's voice. I get it. Yeah. I miss my great grandma too. Yeah. I've lost all my grandparents except for one, and she's in California now with my aunt. But yeah, my grandma, she died when I was 16 to pancreatic cancer, and my grandpa drank himself to death after that. And it was a rough. That was a rough year altogether. I lost my daughter. 2 months later, I lost my grandma, and I was a hurting unit. So good times. Anyway, moving on. But to be fair, back in the day, people used to use newspapers to look for love, right? Yeah. I answered his ad. They used to send out ads selling who they are as a person plus their wealth. Why didn't you just block that woman? Because I worked with her. She followed me around. We worked in the same location. See, that's funny because you went immediately to block that woman. This was back in the 90s. There was no social media. But yeah, you can't block somebody in real life. You can't just hit a mute button and they disappear. That's not how it works. So sometimes in real life you have to be vicious, and she kept coming. So She would probably stop liking you the moment you said something nice about her. Some girls get turned on by rejection and love the chase. No, 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 not this one. This one, if I would have said something nice, she would have been pursuing me still. She was madly in love with me, and I don't know why. I was constantly, I wasn't mean to her at first, but she just kept egging it on when you keep drilling it every day, because I worked in one unit and she worked in the unit next to me, and there was no wall there, so it's like open, and constantly chased me around, and it was well, you would have reported her for harassment. Yeah, but I'm not that much of a dick. To me, it wasn't an uncomfortable harassment. It was just, I'm getting tired of it, so I'm gonna be mean. But it wasn't like today, everybody drops harassment like at the drop of a hat. We'll file for it. So I'm a man, and I can handle it myself. I'm not some sissy lala in the corner with petting puppies. No, I have to deal with my shit myself. And so I did. Eventually, she stopped chasing me. I can't remember what I did after that, what I did to finally convince her. But it was shortly after I said that to her about being the perfect woman, the exact opposite of her. It was about 2 or 3 weeks after that she stopped pursuing. So, eventually. But yeah, I'm not a pansy ass. That's why I can handle it myself. I guess you could say social media is the new newspaper for dating. I think social media has like ruined most of the world. I think, like, especially with TikTok. TikTok is such a clusterfuck. It's a dumpster fire, and I would never. I don't even have a TikTok account. I will never make a TikTok account. I rarely use Twitter anymore. I'm sorry, I will never call it X. Like, I got message from Book Tips. They're constantly asking me to use their services because I am an author, and they do market themselves. And I was thinking about using their services until I found a typo on their product page, and I pointed it out to them, like, it doesn't bode well if you want somebody to pay for your services and you can't even spell something right. You're supposed to be an editing company. So I pointed it out to them, and one of the links that they had on their site was broke too, so I let them know that as well. But I told them, I still might use their services. They're actually quite affordable, but so I'm rarely on Twitter anymore. If someone messages me directly or something comes up that piques my interest, I'll look at it. But there's a lot of spam accounts going out now. Like Crossing Colorado got 2 new followers from spam accounts, and I made a comment about it. So I'm mostly on Threads or Instagram now. I'm not even really on Threads or Instagram. YouTube is the only social media that I'm regularly on. So I try to be more active. I just don't know what to post. I'm not going to post stuff on social media just for the sake of saying something. That's not who I am. I'm not going to tell you about my day because I don't think it really fucking matters. I don't have an interesting life. I don't have a nice car to show off. I don't live in a mansion. So yeah, I'm not going to just spout out shit just for the sake of spouting out shit. So I'm not very active on social media because I have nothing to say. So yeah, social media is 10 times more destructive. Oh, by far. I lost a lot of respect for my previous employer because they had all these typos on their website. Still do. Yeah. Even being who I am, there's been a few times where I'd go back and read my old stuff and have to fix something. But that's because when you're editing your own work, it's never a good idea. It's because your brain's already trained to think that that is correct and in the moment. But if you go back to it like 2 or 3 weeks later, you'll see the errors. And it's because it's no longer fresh in your mind. And there's times where even I would have to fix something. But yeah, but when you have a sales page and you're broadcasting your prices on on editing services, and you can't spell the word spine correctly, that's a red flag. So I pointed it out to them, and they're going to get it fixed. But I told them, sometimes the best of us can have a fuck up. So I don't hold that against them. But yeah, it doesn't look very good. Probably lost them some sales, because I know that if someone's selling their editing services and they can't spell shit correctly on their sales page, I won't use them. I'll move on. And that's the same with the emails. Like, I'll get emails about somebody. I will write a blog post for you, like for guest posts. A lot of guest post inquiries on WriterSanctuary. But their emails are riddled with grammatical errors, like horrible. Like, there's no fucking way you're writing for my blog. Nah. And nowadays you're like, oh, I'll just use AI generated content. Not on my site, you won't. So yeah, if you can't string a couple of coherent sentences together, I'm not going to use you. Not going to happen. Oh, that reminds me of back when I was getting applications for a new writer last year, or was it the year before? Oh man, I have no faith in humanity. I have this high expectation of people. I usually think that people generally are good and wholesome, but my God, people make it so difficult. There's YouTubers who make prank videos just to get views. These prank videos are the worst because it ruins the world around us. Yeah, there's a few pranksters out there that I would love to hit in the face with a brick, but that's just it. They get views and likes, and a lot of it is hate viewing, and so they're encouraged to keep doing the same behavior, and they will never learn. They'll never peak past being a prankster on YouTube. And even if they do, if they try to get a serious job, someone's going to look back at their channel or their content and say, no, sorry, not with my company. That's what a lot of these TikTok or modern women nowadays, if you right click any image, Google will search the entire internet for that image for you and will find you where it came from. I found a few spammers because of that. But when you start getting on these TikTok videos and podcasts and whatnots and talking about how much of a whore you are and then try to get into our serious relationship, if the guy just right clicks your image and looks, he's going to find that video eventually, and that's not going to happen. So keep in mind, anything you put on the internet stays on the internet forever. Someone contact me. Let's try that again. I missed one. I just can't work with people who don't care. Yeah, I agree. Someone connected with me on LinkedIn recently and asked for career advice. His writing is full of typos. It makes me not want to respond. I get a lot of those as well. I'll try to be nice about it and be diplomatic, because a lot of people that do want to get into a writing career are really brand new. They really don't know what they're doing. And so I'll try to guide them into the same type of things that I did when I first began my career, and try to help them fix their content. Like my favorites was back when I had more time, they would send me samples of their writing. And so I would critique it. And when I critique something, I'm a bit of a douche. I'm going to point out every single error I come across. That's because that's what I am. I am an editor. That's what I do. If you want to learn, I'm going to teach you. And so I went through and highlighted all the different things that I needed to fix. And then I gave suggestions. Like back then, Grammarly's Chrome extension was relatively new, but it still worked fairly well. And so I told them, what you should do is put this into like WordPress or some other online writing platform. Let Grammarly's Chrome extension, even the free version, will correct your spelling and highlight some of the most glaring issues. It'll fix a lot of the biggest problems that you'll have. And I mean, there's still some problems that come with that, because there's no such thing as an automated system that is 100% accurate. So have it scan through it and then try again. And about 2 or 3 days later, he sent me another sample. Like, see, this is way better. This is before AI generated content, so it fixed a lot of the spelling errors and whatnot. So I told him, see, this is what you should be doing on TextBroker. It fixes what you've already written, and so you're good to go. But nowadays, everybody's using AI for this and AI for that. So that's why a lot of the content mills that I used to use are losing money now, because everybody wants AI generated content because it's free. It's bullshit, and I don't support it in any way, shape, or form. But it is what it is. So I try to be nice when people ask me for advice. I'm not like hyper aggressive or anything. I am quite approachable until you push my button. Then I'm not so much. But yeah, I've helped a lot of people get their writing career started. So tell him to learn how to proofread his sentences for your first advice. One of my biggest things is read it out loud. When you read it out loud, your brain has to transfer it or convert it from what you're reading into speech. And so it has to go through another type of filter. And when you're saying it out loud, your brain will catch all kinds of shit. So like when I'm doing the Despair audiobook on WriterSanctuary, I'll catch all kinds of errors that I missed, that Sam missed, that Grammarly missed, only because I'm speaking it for the audiobook. And so read it out loud. It might sound silly to some, but I'm telling you, it is brilliant when it comes to editing your own stuff. He wants to be a game designer. I mean, writing isn't absolutely essential to that role, but still, it depends. Part of game design is one of the biggest reasons why I play a lot of games that I do is the plot. I love the storyline behind StarCraft. I love the storyline behind Diablo. Without those storylines, I wouldn't play them. I don't play Call of Duty because there's really no major plot to it. I don't like running around shooting people. It's just kind of, sometimes mayhem is fun, but for the most part, I love a good story. So it depends on what part of the game design he wants to be in. Does he want to do the plots, or does he want to do character modeling? I would love to be a modeler, but how about we finish our books first? I'm not going to add more to my plate. But there's quite a bit to game design when it comes to writing. But it's a little bit different than being a freelancer, because like with my clients, I am writing content for their company. Most of my clients are businesses. So I have to write more stuff. That's like most of what I do nowadays is WordPress tutorials and best of lists for the best plugins for WordPress. A lot of business related stuff relating to technology, web hosting. We do a ton of that. And so that's way different than being creative to write a story for a game. So I'd say if somebody asks you for advice, even with the typos, just kind of point out that if you want to be a writer, you're going to have to clean up your writing. I've told that to a lot of people. And you can't be fragile enough to where if a critique from somebody breaks your soul. And that was one thing I ran into somebody on Twitter last year. This person started their writing career and got a negative review and just shit canned the whole thing, and she's like a nervous wreck. Like, A, you're new. B, you shouldn't let a critique crush your soul like that. Using it as a building lesson. And 3, grow a pair. People are so freaking fragile nowadays. You're not... One of my favorite sayings is you can't please 100% of the people 100% of the time. It's impossible. Don't worry about the trolls. Worry more about the critiques, because a proper critique will hate something, but at least they'll tell you why they hate it. Characters are bland, or the scenery is not what they expected, or the plot didn't do this, or maybe they get triggered by something you added to it. A proper critique can go a long way to help you in a writing career. So that would be another thing I would suggest for career advice if somebody asks you. is to polish up your shit and make sure you have a thick skin, because people are going to hate for the sake of hating. Anywho, it is now 8:30 and I finally, after getting the freaking computer done, we can actually finish off the night. Usually we're done by 8, but you know, it is what it is. And look, I lost a concurrent viewer the moment I told y'all we were fragile. So, it's all good. I am who I am. I'm sorry. I am of the generation who just doesn't give a shit. Today I feel, last week's card is, today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. Wow. Out of all the cards, I was surely not at peace. Especially today. Today was one of those days where everything just fell apart. Why is it always on a Monday? Every time. I come up with a brilliant plan to make sure everything gets done, and things crashed like right from the get-go. Okay, this one's a good one. This week's affirmation: every day tell yourself. I get the card put away. All right, and remember, I do add these to the community tab, usually on Tuesday. God, I almost forgot what day it was. Today I am excited. All right. Today is going to be the best day ever. Kind of a quick one, but that's how I always try to wake up. This morning, not so much, because my day went to shit the moment I got up, but I still tried to make the most of it, which is the whole point. But being excited for the day. I'm excited every day. I love what I do for a living. I love the blogs that I make. I love writing my books. I love doing the videos on WriterSanctuary. I love the job I do for my clients. Like, I'm living the dream. I love my job, like, wholly. So it doesn't even feel like work to me. But yeah, being excited. Get excited. Let's get excited, and every day it's going to be the best goddamn day ever. Even if you have to get aggressive with it. Team replay. See, Neil missed a lot. Neil, you missed the fun of everything crashing on me. I still have like XSplit and 2 instances of OBS now. God, yeah, it is such a mess. I'm gonna have to restart or shut down. But yeah, it was a lot of fun this morning or earlier. So, see, now I feel weird because now I want to know what Neil's end game was. We talked about mine and Diana's, and KDC brought up how he wanted to be a dancer. And now we need Neo's end game. Have I told you recently how much I love Drambuie? Or should we just be done? It's 8:30 for me. So it's like probably way later for everybody else. End game for the year? No, end game for your writing career. Like I talked about how I would love the blogs to get to a point where I don't have to worry about anything financially. That's a ways out. I would like to, my end game is definitely have more books on my shelf. A big part of that was because of, I stumbled across somebody that I know on a different blog, and like, oh, I used to work with him. And it just made me think, because he's content with being a content writer and nothing more. So I'm like, am I unique in that I'm never content. I can't just be a content writer. I have to be a freelance writer / blogger / published author, self-published author. I'm never content. I'm always looking for what's next. Now, unfortunately, that winds up pushing me a bit further than normal. And I wind up stressing out from it. But it's like, I know I can write 90 blog posts in 30 days because I did it. I'll never do it again, but I did it. So I always have to challenge myself. Where's the line? What kind of line is it? Can I move that line? Is there another way that I can go around that line? Let's go over the line. There is no line. It's like that scene from Matrix. There is no spoon. There is no line. I want to support myself financially as a writer. If I can't work for a company, then I want to be confident enough to make my own doors of opportunity. Well, there you go. And then we can go a little bit further. What kind of doors are you looking for opportunity? Are they big doors, little doors, metal doors, wood doors? Kind of vague. But no, that's good though. That's what started me as a writer, was being able to make more than $8 an hour. So once I was able to do that in 2013, I quit my job. At that point, I was making $8.40 an hour at the school district as a network technician, by the way, which is just one step below network admin, making $8.40 an hour. So it didn't take a lot of effort to surpass that as a writer, writing for content mills. And so once I did all that, I was able to quit my job, and I've been doing it ever since. I haven't had a traditional job since February 2013. But that was my driving force, was supporting myself and my family as a writer. And I was able to do that. And today, well, I have a mortgage, credit cards. I just bought a 3D printer. I'm trying to buy a Mustang. Yeah, things are looking good. And it's only took 10 years to get here. So, but I can't really scoff at that being a goal, because that's what drove me. So if I can do it, Neil, you can too. I have faith in you. I want to publish a book, poetry, or short stories. There you go. Yeah, and you are the only one stopping you. I proved that you can publish a book without spending a single dime. I didn't spend anything making a freelancer's tale. The picture was all us. We took it at Lookout Mountain with Sam's camera. I didn't spend any money on editing or writing tools. I used LibreOffice and pasted it into Kindle Create, and that's a nightmare. Don't ever do that. But I demonstrated you can write a book and publish it for free. I didn't spend anything on it. So you bought a 3D printer. Aren't those expensive? Yeah. Yes, they are. Especially the big ones. And the kids talked me into buying the big one, and nobody's used it for a while because nobody can figure out how to get the damn thing to work right. Of course, I haven't tried it, so I think that's what I'm going to do this weekend, is dive into it and figure out why it's not printing. Like, it'll print out the small stuff just fine, but anything big, it loses it at the end. So I'm going to do some research and see if I can do it, because I would love to have a 10mm pistol from Fallout 4 to go with my costume for Halloween. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to print out the pistol from it. Or maybe I can get that gun, because I would put LEDs in it. And there's a lot of Fallout stuff that I really want to print out. So because it took me so long to fight to be a writer, I want to help other shy writers be confident in their writing journey by giving them the tools to say, I want to write and not just teach. Yeah. So you want to be me. What are you? What am I going to use it for? Well, I started thinking about one of the things I thought would be fun for my Buy Me a Coffee supporters is to print out some of the things from my book as part and mail it out to them. I think that'd be kind of fun. Like the scepter that's in Kingmaker, or maybe one of the characters. We probably all, if you're better read, you probably know the character. I would love to print and send out to you. But I think it'd be kind of cool. I agree 100%. I am the only one stopping me. Yep, exactly. I'm telling you. You are the only one stopping you. Especially in today's world where you have access to fucking everything on the internet. Like when I did a freelancer's tale, I'd have to pay for, I use print on demand services through Amazon. I don't make a lot of money. The royalties are shit in comparison if you do traditional publishing, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. So you can do everything for free. So there's really no excuse to not write your book. Get going. Anywho, I think we're going to wrap it up. It's almost my bedtime. Or at least my tea time, anyway. Drink some tea, read my book, go to bed at a reasonable time. Not have to get up at 5. Oh, man, this whole day was just one juicy mess after another. But you know, tomorrow's another day. We got this. I got the important stuff done, so there's that. So anywho, if nobody has anything else to add, we can wrap this up. Don't forget that A Freelancer's Tale that I've talked about tonight is available on Amazon in ebook and paperback formats. It's a story about how I got started as a freelance writer, all the way from writing with content mills to what I do today while suffering from one of the worst depressions of my entire life. The link to that is in the description down below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit me up on social media, on Threads mostly, or Instagram. I am on Twitter and Facebook. But Facebook doesn't tell me my comments until like 4 hours later. So if you're on time constraints, don't use Facebook. Or fastest way to reach me would be through the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website. I get those emails immediately, as you probably heard today on the live stream, because it seems like everybody and their dog decided to send me an email at 8 o'clock. I can't ask anything until I watch the replay. There you go. Plug in. Shameless advertising. But yeah, the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website is the fastest way to contact me. I am pretty quick if you message me directly on Twitter. I do have it up on a tab, even though I rarely ever browse it. Threads doesn't give me a notification. And Instagram does. Instagram is another good way to contact me. Neo does it all the time. So usually the Instagram things come real quick through the phone. So I am quite easy to find. And if you Google Michael Brockbank at all, you'll see me all over the place. Almost sounds dirty. But I pushed really hard to make sure that I dominated the top of the search for my name. And I was competing with a doctor and a lawyer and a Mormon. So I won. You did do the card of the day. Yes, I did. And since you weren't here, we can read it again. Last week's card was, I don't know, because I put it away. This week's card is, today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. I'm always trying to strive for the best day ever. I'm always setting goals to see what I can do today that I didn't do yesterday. Of course, when you have a life as chaotic as mine, it doesn't always go to plan, but at least the thought is there. I try. Doesn't always work out, but I try. But anywho, I think we're going to wrap this up. Yeah. Because we got started way later than normal. So, like, yeah, it was like, what, 7:15, 7:30 by the time I got the damn video to connect. It was a mess. OBS won't load, or OBS crashed. XSplit crashed. I couldn't use Streamlabs. I finally got OBS to launch over on top of itself. That's a long story. But needless to say, I'm shutting my machine down tonight. So, anywho, thank you for watching, everybody. And if you have any ideas about what any kind of videos you'd like to see me create, or if you have any suggestions for topics for Monday, or the live stream WordPress Fridays every other Friday, I don't know what to call them yet, but this Friday I'll be showing you how and why to install a table of contents in WordPress for a blog. If you have any ideas about what you'd like to see with that, leave them in the comments down below. pretty much any video because I read all comments that come my way, even the spammy ones, because sometimes they make me laugh. But yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Monday or Friday. Depends on if you watch